Hey everyone, Morgan here. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 8 things that I wish I had known before I became a prepper. And there are probably a ton of things that I wish I had known, but these are just the top 8 that I could think of today, that actually husband and I could think of. So here are the top 8. The first one is going to be joining an online community. When I first started prepping, I've been prepping for like 10 years now, okay, a long time. When I first got started, while I did research online, I didn't actually know that there was like this whole community of preppers, like I saw the blogs and I saw the forums and stuff, but I just didn't realize the extent of it, and I think it's a kind of a big deal to get involved, with other preppers and such, because you learn so much from others. And while there's always going to be those people in every single group, hobby, whatever it is, online community, whatever it is always gonna be those people, right? You know what I'm talking about. There are a ton of great people who are there to just share ideas and just be awesome to one another. So the good definitely outweigh the bad. So I kind of wish I had known about that from the very beginning. The next one is going to be, you don't have to spend a lot of money to be prepared. In the beginning, I kind of felt like, you had to spend a lot of money. Like, you need all the bunkers, you need all the greatest gear, you need all this and that, you need 20 years worth of food storage. I mean, the prepper community can really make it seem like you need to be rich in order to be prepared, right? And that's simply not the case. You can definitely prep on a budget. Even today, the prepping community makes it seem like you need to have a ton of money to get prepared, but that's really not the case. All right, the next one is going to be gimmicks are gimmicky. I really fell for like a lot of little gimmicks here and there. Like, I just thought that they were really cool stuff. And so, there was this one gimmicky thing where it was a neon crowbar. It was pretty cool. I just thought it was the neatest thing. But actually, a friend got it, and the neon actually started just like chipping off, and it didn't even glow in the dark that good. It was actually a glow in the dark crowbar, and it didn't even glow in the dark that good, like at all. Like, it glowed a tiny bit because it was neon paint, but that was basically it. So anyway, it's knowing the difference between a gimmicky product and something that's actually going to help you. All right, the next one's going to be, you don't need just beans and rice. The prepper community is really, really focused on just beans and rice. And I understand beans and rice have a long shelf life, and, they give a lot of good, calories and carbs and all these things to get you through, right? But there's so much more to food storage than beans and rice. And so, but in the beginning, I really thought that it was just like beans and rice in a bucket. And I've heard that a lot too. Being a prepper, I have to store beans and rice, and that's it. And a lot of people don't even know how to prepare it either. I was one of those people. I had no idea how to even prepare this stuff. What am I going to do with these beans and rice, right? But anyway, next one's going to be, you don't have to follow any rules. And I am definitely referring to like the 10 C's and like the rules of 3 and all these prepper rules, right? You do not have to follow any of these rules. And in the beginning, when you're researching, it really seems like you have to follow these rules. You have to follow the rules of 3. You have to follow these 10 C's. You have to follow all these other rules. You have to follow the weight limitations on your bucket bag or whatever it is, right? You have to follow these rules, but you don't, okay? And in the beginning, I wish I had known that, that while these might be guidelines or things to maybe consider for your bags and things, they're not hard and fast rules. And what's going to work for you is going to be different for everybody else, basically. Even my husband and I are completely different in the way that we prep. Okay, the next one is going to be that I didn't research any products. I just kind of bought what was on the shelf. And this was, in particular, what I'm talking about is like, I went to Academy and I got the Life Straw. I did no research. I just knew that I needed some sort of water purification system. The Life Straw was the first thing that I saw, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. It's $20? Yeah, I think it's even cheaper now. I think it's like $15 on sale sometimes for like $10. Anyway, but it is definitely not the best, and it's actually not even one that I recommend anymore, So there are you know, a lot of things that we really need to research, you know, especially when it comes to the stuff that could be potentially life-saving for us, you know. So research is extremely important. I kind of wish I had known that instead of just wandering into a store and grabbing whatever was on the shelf, right? All right, the next one is going to be skills are more important than stuff. I wish I had known that. You know, stuff is important. I like stuff, okay? I think that, you know, I've talked multiple times about how stuff helps us through, you know, our gear is our prepper tools of the trade, right? So like our fire starters and whatever else, they help us through emergencies and disasters. But it, you know, without the skills and without your health, your mindset, all that, that stuff is useless. Literally, right? You know, if you don't know how to use this stuff, you don't know when to use it, all that kind of stuff, then it's useless. So while I think gear is important, you know, skills behind the gear and skills knowing, you know, what to do in case you don't have that gear anymore is way more important. All right, the last one's going to be don't believe everything you read. I have dispelled several myths. Now, sometimes I'll come across like a hack, right? Like the Doritos fire starter hack. I thought that was ridiculous. And I'm like, really? Doritos can start a fire? But that's true. Now, one that was not true was that matches cannot light once wet. I dispelled that myth. I actually tried it out for myself, and I proved that matches do indeed still light even after they get wet. You know, but I read somewhere online that said that you couldn't, right? So it's really important for us to really research these things that we read, even for me, okay? Really research these things that we read and view and see people do, and make sure that it's not just gimmicky and it's not a myth and it's not something that's just being perpetuated because lots of people have said it. Just because lots of people have said it doesn't make it so, right? You have to try stuff out for yourself and really make sure that, you know, these are real things, you know, not just people saying things because they're saying things without any proof behind them. Anyway, so those are just a few things. I would love to hear what things you wish you had known before you got started as a prepper. Thank you all so much for watching. Conquer tomorrow by preparing today. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.